Alright, so this will be the last time that I actually get back on and stream again today. I'm just curious if I can actually get this particular thing to work. Trying to actually stream to both Twitch and to YouTube at the same time. So let's see how this goes. See how everything works out. Not really sure exactly how I will see chat. But we'll see. We'll see how well this works. Alright, well. Alright, that should work. Let's delete it. Yep. There we go. See, gate looks like it's doing fine to me, but okay, OBS looks like everything is running well. Okay. Stretch that out. Kill that window so there's one less window to be playing. Okay, cool. And let's give this a shot, see how it goes for a little while. We'll just play for probably a half hour since we're just sort of testing this out and looking to see how everything actually plays out. I'm actually kind of tired, really not looking to stream a whole lot more, but this might make streaming just a little bit more lucrative. I'm not going to wear the headphones right now. Watch this be the one time that someone actually stops by to chat. Alright, let's see. Okay. Telephone question, Eastern ritual disrupted. So, I did think about one thing to chat about and see if anyone has any input on it while we are just going about doing our thing. Since the Legion, their whole goal was basically to prevent Azeroth from becoming corrupted. Well, not their whole goal. The whole goal was, strictly speaking, just to stop planets with potential world souls from being corrupted by the Void. Why is it that the first time we really encounter the Army of the Light, they are in opposition to the Legion? I understand that the Legion is somewhat more on the chaos side of things, and that we're kind of talking about the whole fundamental forces thing within WoW, but this seems like one of those moments where it's more along the lines of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because the Legion's only really destroying worlds where Void has actually partially taken hold, or in the case of Azeroth, from what I understand, it seemed like Sargeras was just super terrified of what would happen if Azeroth were corrupted by the Void rather than ordered by the Titans, which seems to be what we're sort of working our way towards now, that they wanted to order her into a Titan rather than it being she was naturally a Titan.
What kind of shipment is this?
Here we go, some stuff to fight. Oh, cool. That was pretty cool. Yes, I understand. How do you disable those tips? Interface. Read chat bubbles. There. Okay. I actually like class colors. But we'll see. I'm really going to have to play with the interface at some point. I think I'm just going to go through and actually do all the stuff that Bellular suggests. I know people give him a lot of flack, and I don't really understand why. He's, if nothing else, just kind of milquetoasted in the middle. Yeah, I know people get frustrated because he seems to bounce back and forth between criticizing Blizzard and being happy with Blizzard, but his whole channel is about WoW. Do you really think he can actually afford to just shit all over WoW and assume there's going to be no consequences to it? No, that's his income. He needs to maintain some connection. And to be fair, when it has been at its worst, he has criticized it. I really tend to look at him more like his coverage is trying to reflect what he thinks the current sentiment is. Because it seems like he actually tries to pair up all the bad videos with something good. He just seemed to really struggle to do that with Shadowlands, which is why that's the one expansion that I didn't try. Because whenever they couldn't even convince him to consistently cover it positively, I was like, yeah, there's no point in going back and testing that one out. So I took a pretty massive break there and just skipped out on Shadowlands, even though that an old god-themed expansion, which is what I thought Shadowlands was going to be, was something I had really been hoping for a long time. Now we're getting, I guess, an old god-themed trilogy, although not quite. I don't know. WoD was what caused me to drop out originally. Gahoon just was underwhelming as far as the first tier boss goes, and as far as some sort of pseudo fifth old god. But yeah, no, I got a little bit re-energized, I guess. What is that? Encouraging poster, rational explanation. It's right here. Oh, okay. Even a dark hour, tranquility survived. Take comfort. Her reasoning. Okay, that's kind of cool. And townsfolk question. Now, back to the Legion thing. Yes, the Legion pretty much just went somewhere and destroyed it. They did not make any real effort to try to save. But it looks like the Light operates basically the same way. That if an area is beyond salvation, they don't salvage. They just destroy. I mean, look at the way Terralion has been kind of acting. Little bit erratic in this first part here. Very heavy-handed. Now, granted, Blizzard sort of has a history of swinging characters' moods and general way of behaving to fit what they want the story to be at that point in time. Which is kind of why Sylvanas seemed to have went from really cold and calculating to extremely emotional and reactive when she burned down Teldrassil. Like, that was... It's not something that was outside of her character. It's just what seemed to be her motivation for doing it was extremely outside of her character. Doing it just to spite one random person that really wasn't all that important at that point in time? No. She really, for the strategic value, would have been more likely to actually try to gain control of Teldrassil. I don't know why I'm walking, but we'll do that. Or back off a little bit. She had them on the back foot. She had the upper hand. She had the right machinery to do it. If you have enough stuff to destroy it, you have enough stuff to take it. So, I don't know. That was just a kind of bizarre thing. It was an interesting idea. I was actually excited to see how they pulled it off going into it. And then we actually got to the point of doing it. And it just wasn't as long.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
Like, I don't mind them necessarily having turned Sylvanas into a bad guy. It is a little frustrating that they consistently turn the Horde into villains. I get why. I understand the arguments that originally the Horde were the villains of Warcraft. But it's been a while since we've been at that point. And now, the only thing that's interesting about the Terralion stuff is it does look like he's going to be the Alliance's turn to have one of their heroes turned into a villain. The problem is Terralion's actually really cool from back in the day. Like, he's a good character. He and Illyria both, at least they were. So I don't know. I'm not going to enjoy necessarily having him turn into a villain, if that's what they end up doing, because I like him as a hero.
This place is more
just like how I liked Sylvanas as an anti-hero, and it sort of seems to be what they're trying to kind of get her back into, but not really. This oh well, now she's managed to scarecrow her way into a heart. It's a little... I don't know. I've heard there's really good stories in this particular expansion as far as the side stories and stuff. That's why I want to play. I want to give it a shot, see how everything goes, on the understanding that, yeah, they tend to be a little corny with their overall story. Xal'atath's a pretty cool villain. She just doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense in the terms of why does she consistently have to keep haha, this is my plan all along. But whatever, it's kind of cool. I mean, realistically, she wouldn't be doing the haha, this was my plan all along stuff if she wasn't really being enabled by Illyria, but it's also a problem. The fact that Illyria has just kind of consistently screwed up.
What do we need to do?
Really? Okay, let's just serious talk for a second. Yeah, sorry. I hadn't really been responding because it's teeny tiny. I've got the chat on a second monitor. But what are you up to?
I've bested every evil I...
Just going through and ranting about how Blizzard doesn't really seem to know how to actually write female characters except in one of two ways, which is passive or angry and screwing up because of hysterics. Sometimes they successfully manage to win due to rage, but yeah, they're strong kind of female leads don't tend to maintain that for super long periods of time. And I never have been able to figure out why, because it's not like they are incapable of writing or doing anything kind of interesting with this. They just seem to stick to the same story beats. That might be medicine. I mean, it's interesting. The overarching story is interesting. You just kind of have to pretend like you can sort of
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
Sometimes. I play... don't stream anything else, but I do videos for other things on YouTube. Like, I'm only really streaming because, to me, that's about the only way I can actually successfully make any sort of content with World of Warcraft. And I really want to play this expansion and see how... like, play in the sense I want to go through the campaign at least one good time and see what the story has to do. But I play a bunch of random stuff on my YouTube and do the occasional book review. So this is the first one. I've streamed a little bit of Legion Remix and just couldn't get into it like I did Moth Remix, so shelved the whole streaming thing for a little bit.
Look at the size of that thing.
Sure. What's up? There is a bit of a delay, by the way, so if it takes me a minute to actually acknowledge something you said, that's why. Yeah, because I've only really streamed a couple times. This is still me sort of getting an idea as to how well it works and whether or not it's actually something I really want to stick with. There's a whole bunch of things that I can actually add in. I just haven't taken the time to do it yet. So, laziness would be the good answer. Like, I didn't really prep for this. I mostly make videos and post on YouTube. I got like 400-ish videos posted in general. Post a few shorts on TikTok here and there. So, mostly I make static content. This is the first time I've streamed. I think my Twitch said it's the first time I've turned it on in 5 months. You know, we'll put a pin in that for now. That's something that down the line, if I actually started pulling in enough viewers on Twitch, probably would go that way. I've got in mind something that I can throw together that would be relatively cheap, but I'm not beyond commissioning stuff. Hold on. My book, I actually went through and had someone do the cover for it. So, not beyond commissioning art things. Just not something I'm looking to do just yet. Gotta have a sort of proof of concept done in the sense that the streaming has to show that it has potential before I really put money into it, because if you want something done well, you have to pay a decent amount for it, right? I can appreciate the hard pitch, I'm just not on the market right yet.
There may be something darker going on here. Baladash, Malalore. We serve the Alliance. We embrace power. We do not fear it. maintain focus, and Lord Antinorian values nothing
I
more
don't
than
mess
the
around with
safety of
Discord.
his
I'm
team.
a
He'll
teacher
want
as
to know
my
about
full-time
this.
job, so I just leave Discord completely off to the side. There's too little general regulation on it for me. I know that seems weird for someone that does gaming content, and if I was actively participating in multiplayer games, like, I'm playing WoW, but I'm playing WoW solo, realistically. I don't really mess around with Discord for various reasons. It's gotten plenty of people in trouble even when they didn't intend to. I don't think you're doing anything bad, by the way, just to be clear. I completely don't mess with Discord.
What are you... What brings you here?
If you have a website or something that you sell off of, I'd be happy to take a look at that.
Glory to the Sindori. Lord Antinorian is away. I can help you.
This isn't right.
Magister Umbric, how goes your research?
Go on. Tell him.
Our hospitality is gladly offered. A cult? Well, that is a most serious accusation. I shall have it looked into, but I'm glad you're here. I need your assistance with something.
Oh, another cult. Imagine that. Wonder if it's going to be related to the Twilight's hammer. It sounds like he's sending us out to be assassinated.
I cannot thank you three enough for taking the town's safety seriously. I shall look into your investigation. We'll compare notes later.
So let's go kill his informant.
Champion, wait! It's an ambush!
Yeah, I figured as much. Gotta love Blizzard's at least somewhat predictability. Now, to be fair, predictability in fantasy is not that bad. I've been kind of ranting about stuff, but I just finished reading a really good sort of cozy book. It's probably one of the most well-written books I've read in years. And he set the story up to have some basic archetypes to it, so just general fantasy sort of stereotype things that happen. Your main character is more or less a generic Death Knight, but the story is about character development. And it is fantastically well written.
This is a member of the Twilight's Blade.
There's no real
right,
story
Arathor.
beats
Quickly,
to it
back
that
to
are
Tranquility.
super unusual, except for the primary premise where the guy's opening up a restaurant is different. But it is hardcore well written. Like it actually leaves you having some emotional moments to it. I'm trying to be kind of vague because I'm actually currently sketching out the review that I want to do for his book, but it was an incredibly good book to the point where I originally bought it just out of curiosity, just for myself to read and see how it is. Like, I didn't expect I would actually like it enough to do a book review on it,
Research on the Void Storm.
but
The Twilight's
I
Blade
did,
has
and so
stolen
I've
it
worked
all.
it into my schedule in place of something else, which I'm not going to say what I dropped out because I didn't drop it out because it was bad, I dropped it out because this was so
We
good.
should have.
Come with an open mind.
Ta-da. Oh, that's the Void dude that Belialar seems to not trust.
Shadow?
Even if I offered my aid,
I would like to do a delve or something, but I'm kind of waiting for the quest to send me into either a delve or a dungeon.
Everything.
Those are the types of things that generally are more rewarding your first time around if you at least understand what the story is going on. Okay. Oh, okay. I was supposed to be waiting
One
for it
of
to
the
actually
void
clear up and then
samples.
check that.
See if the others are here.
I wonder what exactly the void physically is. Because if you can physically sample the void, and the void is normally like, think of it as just
Excellent.
nothingness.
Wait.
I
what's
wonder
that
what it
glinting
actually
over there?
physically is akin to in the WoW universe. Is it like dark energy or what? Forgotten pendant. There it is. Oh, cinematic.
I was wondering where I'd left that.
This was your doing? What of the people here? You said you wanted them safe!
And I do. Look at the sky, Magister. You know what resides there. You know the fear it brings. The uncertainty. And when it unleashes, and it will unleash, the Twilight's blade will stand on the side of survival.
To get, oh, Twilight's blade, so Twilight's hammer, but
Won't you?
void instead.
I will not bend to you, or the void!
It's interesting that the man made a void magic. It's part of the void cult.
Tranquillian will join us, or die. And you with it.
Well, that was interesting. Thing is, Xal'atath's invasion in the timeline of the game, this has taken place so quickly that the reason why the main armies aren't here is because they haven't had time to respond yet. So how long has this been being seeded? Because this can't be something that they just did spur of the moment. Can't be something that was inspired by the appearance of the Void Spire.
Let's do some good. Better to seek forgiveness than permission. I will not stand by as that cult takes this town.
Get in.
See to the citizens.
If my
I'll
dog
find
wakes up,
Antinorian
I'll end up
and
having
make
to
him pay.
drop out of the stream relatively quickly because I'll need to help her go back to bed. So if I have to abandon this really fast, y'all know what happened. But this was largely just a test to see how well the stream works. And so far it seems to be working pretty well. I'll take a look at the log afterwards and see how it goes. Yeah, still cough all the time. Smoked for 16 years. Don't smoke anymore. Quit. 6 years ago now. But still can't quite get rid of the cough completely. Nowhere near as bad as it used to be. But it's like once I developed that smoker's cough, just kind of kept a little bit of it. And yes, I've looked to see some basics of it to tell whether or not it's actually a sign of anything worse, and it seems to be just a side effect of having built up a little bit of pollen. I think I'm gonna have to build something to moderate chat for chat bots. Not an issue that I normally have to worry about, but we'll see. Gotta learn as we go, right? At least pulling up Twitch, getting some interaction, even if it is through people that aren't real. I should probably just fly over the boss people. And then Unholy is definitely getting better and getting a little bit of a hang of it. I still really need to sit down and read through the abilities and actually get a good understanding of how they function. The whole reason why I enjoyed Balance during Cataclysm was because at that point in time, in order to actually be successful with it, you had to really think about what you were doing. It was extremely difficult to manage to make it all the way through a fight without going if you weren't careful. I remember fighting Magma and having to kind of pool my resources and be really careful with it to keep enough energy to be able to help AoE down the worms. We were playing 10-player at that point in time too, and one thing that gets lost in the retelling of Cataclysm now is when the raids were first released. See, going from Lich King to Cataclysm, in Lich King 10-man was meant to be the easy version of the raids. So if you did 10-man, you were by default being a slightly more casual guild, which wasn't really a problem for most people. For some reason, they decided to standardize everything and try to make 10 and 25-man on par with one another. The only thing I can think of as to why they did that is because they were starting to see the sort of the death of the 25-man guild. They sort of saw it kind of coming down the horizon and realized that they really had to do something to maintain rating, or they were going to end up losing out on the rating scene in general, because they definitely did not have it balanced to where the two were equal. But there were fights that were significantly harder on 10-man than they were on 25-man, and there were a couple that went the other direction, where they were significantly harder on 25 than 10-man. I know my group was one of the first groups that actually, like, we weren't one of the first guilds, not one of them, let me put it that way. We're just one of the first groups in general to take down Atramedes without glitching him, like not doing the trick where you run back in the hallway. A buddy of mine just had the gongs on. He could hit those things right when you were supposed to, and we had our DPS just pinpoint, actually hitting things perfectly. It was fun. It was a fun time to raid. But Halphus, Wormbreaker, he was one that I believe he was harder on 10-man than 25-man. Because the difference in DPS wasn't really properly accounted for. There were a couple of fights that I think the balancing was just wonky. But that's also to be expected when they first test out a new system.
What do we need to do? Let's do
And
some
don't get me
good.
wrong, that's exactly what they were doing. It was the very first time they were actually testing out a system. Diamond Honor Stone, Cinderai Honor Stone. I kind of like that one better.
We should help.
Let's see, Matron Narcilla. Nursilla. From Monster Hunter. Wonder if she's going to be spider-like. Or narcissistic. Yeah, that would work as well. Keep forgetting about death. Really shouldn't. I like Darren Morgan. Got one of the horsemen coming to help.
I'm out of range.
Okay. So, my guys just decided to go out and grab as much as they could. Okay. Let's go turn this in and see if we can get Tranquillin saved, and then I am going to quit for the night.
Have you seen Umbric?
133, 133, haste mastery, haste versatility, probably haste mastery.
I've bested every evil I've faced.
Versatility mastery, crit mastery. Yeah, okay, cool, straight upgrade.
Better to seek forgiveness than permission. Champion, find Umbric. I'll keep guard here.
He's inside the bishop, I guess.
So easily fooled.
I don't have a target.
Antinorian was 2 steps ahead the entire time I was here.
I was actually
Let's
kind of
return to
curious
my
what was in that
study.
chest. But yeah, of course he was 2 steps ahead. Pretty sure he's a boss of something, isn't he?
We've rescued who we can. But
Why do we just keep moving from building to building? Oh, this is his research
what
lab.
was in that lockbox? I have much to teach you.
Death Home. It's been a while since I've heard that name.
Be open to possibilities. This map of Eversong is marked with targets for the Twilight's Blade, including Windrunner Village.
In due time, I have dire news. The Twilight's Blade infiltrated Tranquillian. What's worse is they had a map of Eversong marked with targets. Tranquillian was only their first stop.
Traitors on our doorstep. How can they betray their own people?
They're afraid, Father. You know the Void preys on fear.
The last time the Sunwell was threatened like this, the Sindori were nearly wiped out.
Then this time, we'll ensure that cult is wiped out. See you done, Erator.
Not before we help Umbric secure Windrunner Village. We'll strike once everyone is safe.
We'll say this much. Erator's character model is actually really cool. They did a very good job designing him. Well, if you kind of squint your eyes, he looks like an alternate version of, Jaina.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
Now, the one thing that would be fun about my druid is getting to skin everything. Leatherworking is a fun profession. What is that? Yeah, no, we'll come back for that whenever we're a little bit stronger.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
It's calm for now. But if the Twilight's blade had a map of the area, it may not last.
Ready to fight the fight?
Turning on some arcane golems so that they can actually act as guards. I don't know why this game is so fun, even though it's really just a whole bunch of go here, do this, click this, come back. But it really is. There's an addictive aspect to WoW that is the whole reason why it's been one of the most popular games in existence for a long time. I'm avoiding side quests for the time being. I'm going to do those on whatever my secondary character is that I level up. Ah, hello, Mr. Spy. Okay. Just hoping some more of these are just completely lacking in spies. And of course. But that actually helped me. But I need to make sure to do that next time. So that is up. So what's something else nonsensical that I can talk about that might end up getting the lore keepers to fuss at me? Because I'm sure someone's going to go, of course, the Fel doesn't get along with the light. Well, all Sargeras is doing is ordering chaos. He's taking a chaotic organization, or chaotic group, and using them in the order of years. He's furthering Light's goal of not allowing the void to gain a foothold. So he's actually keeping the universe in balance. He's the biggest agent of the light that there is. And his sword proves it. I wonder if they'll ever address Arthas's soul being withered away and just fading off into nothing. Figure out some way to preserve him or bring him back. Because yeah, he was a zealot. Actually, that is kind of an interesting thing to think about. Arthas was really a paladin, wasn't he? So him being on the verge of some extreme that he was corruptible by his lord. Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, no, we're just gonna not even mess with that.
What do we need to do? Better to
Item
seek
level
forgiveness
king.
than permission.
Baladash, Malinore.
What I need to do while I'm thinking about it. And throw it over here. That way, on occasion, I can hop on. And yes.
Be good.
The shadows serve us.
Well, we'll just have to hasten mastery first. So we'll end up going with that one.
Do not bend to the whispers. I'm going to try to decipher Cassius' notes one last time. They may be the key to unraveling the Void Storm.
Stay a while and listen to
Ready to fight the fight?
Said he actually
Teresa
looks really
used
cool.
to tell me stories of this place. They held festivals. Her brother Lirath would play. The air was filled with laughter and song. It's hard to imagine any of that now. It's just broken. Gone. Nothing left but echoes. Was my
Well, that was
mother
okay.
one of those that filled the air with laughter? Did Sylvanas sing?
Did Sylvanas ever do anything happy? Because she didn't even seem happy when we saw her in Warcraft 3 before she was killed and turned
We don't
into a
speak
banshee.
often, but it just feels different this time. With everything that's happened, that storm in the sky, the void, worry solves nothing. What we need is a sword.
I mean, really being an old man and it's still very much alive.
Champion, bring those void shards to the center portal. If I'm right, it should reverse the path and open the way to the Void Storm.
Okay. What else? To the where? Oh. Okay, why do they have to make these things so hard to... let's try the action button thing. Okay, that works. So, what sort of monster gonna pop out for us to fight? Probably one of the little Void Lord purple looking shoulderless thingies.
No! We were so close! I have much to teach you.
That one.
Greetings, traveler. The light is not the only path. Cassia's research holds the first steps I need to help Silvermoon. Antinorian took those missing pages. I bet my life on it.
All those are glyphs. I don't know what you should get for getting all the glyphs, but eventually.
Champion, Lorthamar sent me to help with that rat you're chasing.
Oh, Valera Sanguinar. I like her.
We embrace power. We do not fear it.
They'll never see.
Mistress, I am here as summoned.
Sorry for destroying your ears there.
Never nothing mortal. The
Xal'atath.
void closes its jaws around the throat of your world. You cannot hope to be worthy of its hunger.
I am. My followers and I have sown chaos and mistrust between the Sunwell's defenders. As we were bidden.
Those are stupid.
Mere child's play, elf. The real work commences over the mountains. And within the void itself. In case any of you have forgotten. You wretches speak of your works and worth.
Come on. This is a big opportunity to bring each other
Chase's
on.
favor. Forgetting all the while that in the end
all will be devoured. The forces of the void are gathering from across the cosmos, eager to feed upon this world.
I know she's basically just been
Soon,
tapping
the true invasion will begin, and the mortals will never see it coming. Make ready.
Mistress, do not forsake me.
You did well, my faithful servant. But alas, I have no further use for you.
But I...
Give my regards to Azeroth's
That's how
champions.
Hand it to him. That was a good ending. Yeah, let's go kill him. Oh, cool. Sends us into a
Be
delve.
open to possibilities.
We'll take care of the reinforcements. Go with Valera.
I trust you, champion. Find Antinorian, get the information we need, and take him down.
Cause I wanna go to bed. Talamon. So let's see. Let's go back up to Tranquil. We'll find us an inn there.
I see.
Then pick this back up sometime.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
Oh, letter. There we go. Alright, well. I would say this was a successful test. So, we'll kick back in and probably do it like this another time. And I'm actually going to do that and do that. So, now that I've blocked the people trying to sell in chat, leaves no one else there. Ah, well, whatever. This is just for fun anyway. Well, anyone that actually took the time to watch this VOD, you have a good night.